Okay, so this is the Canon 5D Mark II camera that's been out for a while. And the big revolution in this camera is obviously, like everyone knows, it shoots high definition 1080p video. Now, one of the big complaints that people have been listing about this camera is that when you're shooting in video mode, you have to manually adjust focus with the focus ring. So, for a lot of people, that's either too challenging or just too much of a nuisance with regards to this camera and what they expected it to do. Now, I think there's still some confusion out there that that is the only way you can focus when shooting a video. What I'm going to show you is a way to autofocus or semi-autofocus while shooting in movie mode on the 5D Mark II. Now, if you own any Canon camera or pretty much any SLR with live view mode, you will know, especially in the Canon models, that there are three different types of autofocus modes. There is quick view, live view, and live mode with facial recognition. Now, if you do autofocus with the quick focus, what's going to happen is this image right here, which is out of focus quite clearly, in order to focus it, what it's going to do is it's going to lock the mirror up, and then it's going to focus and then close the mirror again. So now when I zoom in, I can see that the image is in focus now. So that is quick mode. Live mode, on the other hand, does not actually let the mirror go up, and instead, or actually doesn't let the mirror go down. And so in live mode, if you want to focus something, again, so let me get out of focus. So if I zoom in here, I'm clearly out of focus. It will use contrast in the image to focus the image. So if I focus here now, it uses contrast, it's slower, but it just focused, and now we're good to go. Now, the thing to note is that if I am in movie mode, and I have my autofocus for live view set to the live mode, like I just had it set now, what I'm going to be able to do is, while I'm recording, so let me go out of focus. Alright, this image is out of focus. Now, if I record a movie, which I'm doing right now, and I hold down the autofocus button, it's adjusting contrast, focusing, and now the image is in focus. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. I didn't have to touch the focus ring at all. I just pushed down the autofocus on button right here where my thumb's at, and it focused just like it would in live mode. Now, there's two things to note about that. As you could clearly see, when I stop recording and I go back and I play it again, I had my exposure here on this video set really bright because that's what I wanted for this shot. Now, if I play back this clip, you're going to see that when I focused using the live mode, it adjusted the contrast in my video, focused it, and then turned it back to the exposure that I wanted. So if I was going to want to use the whole clip, that obviously would be something that I couldn't do, and it would actually ruin it. So it's really good if you don't want to manually focus the camera and you want to let the camera make the decision on focusing, as long as you're willing to take that clip and probably cut it out of your video. The second thing to note is that that focus mode in video is the only one that will do it automatically by the camera. And I use automatically loosely because it's not going to follow a subject. You have to push the autofocus on button. But the quick mode, if you hit the autofocus on button with quick mode on while shooting a video, nothing will happen. And same thing with live mode with facial recognition. It won't do anything. So the only mode is the live mode. That's the only one that will let you autofocus by pushing the autofocus on button while shooting video. Now, a lot of you might already know that, but I think a lot of people don't know that. So this is just clarification that the focus ring is not the only way to focus when you're shooting a video, that you can use the autofocus on button to do that, as long as you're willing to have it do that contrast bumping in order to focus. Now, the thing to note, again, one last time, is that if I had my exposure set down to something like 400, and then I were to run this, I wouldn't really notice the effect. So I'm doing it right now. I hardly noticed it. Now, it does add noise to the internal mic as well, so you can hear it when it does that. So it's noisy, and it changes the exposure. Anyways, I don't think there's anything more I can talk about that. Again, I prefer manual focus when shooting video because it's smoother, But if you need to be extra sure, the camera can do it for you if you're using live mode autofocus. That's it.